All right, Crew Motorfest. We have a new summit starting tonight. Could be tomorrow for you. It starts at the end of Tuesday night, Wednesday. Okay, look. European Elegance. You see these beauties? Citroen C3 Rally, the Renault R.S.01, and the Bugatti Chiron, right? Yeah. Now, I've got all these tuned up for you, okay? None of these have been released on the channel, but, all right, you're going to use, obviously, one of each, and then the other is you can use any France rally, racing, or hypercar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you pro settings. I haven't really been doing videos on these because they're pretty straightforward. I know last time I said after the pro settings I was going to do it. I never did. The rewards aren't like super great, and I think for this, what is smoke, French smoke, like, I'm never going to use that. So I just feel like people aren't really going to be like try-harding. This maybe like Temptation Edition, like, it's probably not going to be like the best car. But look, anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to filter by racing, hyper, and rally, and then go to France. All right. Now, you obviously have to use this. So I'm going to give you the three main cars, and then I'm going to go back and show you probably what's maybe your best option out of what I have. All right. We'll do that. All right. So let's start with the Renault R.S.01. Now, it's coming out on the channel this week. This thing is actually very good. It's fairly quick, and it handles. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, look, pro settings for this, okay? Racing is what we got. Brake balance, 48%. Suspension, springs, front, 10% stiff. Rear, 7% stiff, okay? Damper compression, front, 15% stiff. Rear, 4% stiff. Damper rebound front, 20% stiff. Rear, 8% stiff. Roll bars, 10% stiff up front, 9% stiff in the rear. Camber is -25 up front with a -20 in the rear. Yeah, this is one of my favorite racing cars. So you guys get it a little early because of the summit. Now, okay, on top of that, we have the Bugatti Chiron. Now, I did have to buy this because I have like all the other ones, all right? But it's I think the Carbon Edition, it's hard to say, man. Obviously, the 300 Plus is my favorite out of all of them. But look, pro settings for this, okay? So what I got. Power distribution, 40%. Get the acceleration down to 2.0. Brake balance, 50%. And suspension, springs front, 9% stiff. Rear, -3 soft. Now, usually with all-wheel drive cars, especially the hypers, you really don't have to soften the rear up. But with this one, I had to. So there you go. Okay, so spring front, 9% stiff. Rear, -3 soft. Damper compression front, 13% stiff. Rear, -6 soft. Damper rebound front, 16% stiff. Rear, -12 soft. All right. Roll bars front, 9% stiff. Rear, 3% stiff. Camber, -25 up front with a -15 in the rear. All right. That'll get you rolling on that end. We have a rally that we need to get to, okay? I've had this for a while. I just haven't tuned it. If you want to use it like stock settings out of the box, go for it. Car feels great. I did tune it up a little bit. You still want your rally cars to slide a little bit. You don't want them to kind of be like stiff and like turn, but then not really, you know what I mean? Like it's off-road. You can't treat it like a freaking, all the cars we tune for the pavement. So look, the C3 Racing Citroen, all right? So what we got? Power distribution, 45%, okay? Grip front, -1%. Brake balance, 55%. Aero load front, -2%. Suspension, springs front, 4% stiff. Rear, -7 soft. Damper compression front, 4% stiff. Rear, -2 soft. Damper rebound front, 9% stiff. Rear, -4 soft. Roll bars, front, 6% stiff. Rear, 2% stiff. Camber, front, -17. Rear, -10. I haven't like tested it in a grand race. I've tested it on a lot of races and other things. I'm pretty happy with it. I like it better than stock. If you don't, just go to stock. This thing's you can't go wrong with it. Maybe just a little camber if you want. Okay, so those are the 3 main cars. So as far as rally, I'd have to look in the shop, but this thing is just quick. So I would use this for the Rally France. I don't think you're really going to get any better. And then for racing, this is really good, but I think that the Bolide might take it. So I would use this for the racing category. With my tune, it understeers severely without my tune. So instead of making you watch the video, I'm going to add it right here. Okay, pro settings for this racing monster. Power distribution, 40%. Brake balance, 50%. Can we 59? 50% it is. All right, load rear, negative 20%. Suspension, springs front, negative 13 soft, rear 7% stiff. Damper compression front, negative 8 soft. Damper compression rear, 10% stiff. Damper rebound front, negative 4 soft. Rear, 16% stiff. Roll bars, 9% stiff up front, 3% stiff in the rear. Camber front, negative 25 with a negative 12 in the rear. Right? This car was a pain in the ass to tune, but there it is now. Hyper. Okay, I feel like most people are going to use the Centodieci. Okay, I will show my Cento tune. A lot of people love this thing. They said I really nailed it. I mean, you could use the 300 plus, which is on the channel. It's not out yet. I wouldn't use that. EB110 is actually pretty quick. You could use, even this has really good like top end if it's like a highway track. I don't know yet, but I would just go with the Cento. Honestly, it's probably going to be your best bet. This thing is just solid all the way around. So pro settings for this, so you don't have to go search for the video. Power distribution, 45%. Brake balance, 63%. Suspension, springs front, 9% stiff. Rear, 3% stiff. Damper compression front, 13% stiff. Rear, negative 2 soft. Damper rebound front, 19% stiff. Rear, 5% stiff. Roll bars, 9% stiff up front, 4% stiff in the rear. And finally, camber, negative 25 up front with a negative 15 in the rear. Let's just go to the shop and sort by racing, hyper, rally, and then we'll do France. Yeah, I mean, we have pretty much all the Bugattis. Like I said, those are going to be the way to go. We also have this. And yeah, so we have everything but the Veyrons. So yeah, that's what I would go with, honestly. I think you'll be pretty well off. The races shouldn't be anything crazy. And like the reward is only smoke. So like there's not going to be people tryharding. Most of the people probably just aren't even going to go for it. But yeah, there you go. Pro settings for European elegance. Get on in there, set some times. You boys know the drill. Subscribe, come back, check out other tunes. We got over 150 tunes. I just tuned up like 40 cars today. We got a ton coming. So see you on the next one.